Now, after a legendary alpine skiing career that saw him win 2 Olympic gold medals and a host of world titles, Axel Lund Svindal is turning his skills to something a little different. The Norwegian is going to make his rallycross debut on home soil next weekend. He switched to motorsport this year, stunning observers by winning on his debut. He's currently 5th in the standings. Well, let's bring in the sports journalist, Olatomiwa Toby, who's in our London studio. Good to see you, Toby. Let's start with the Commonwealth Games. What have been your recent highlights?
I mean, it has to be Kenyan's Ferdinand Omanyala, who has been the sort of poster boy from Africa representing at the Commonwealth Games. He's the 8th fastest man in the world, and he proved his mettle at the 100-meter final. It was seemingly a breeze for him, finishing in 10.02 seconds. A relatively easy win for him, but also displacing Akani Simbine of South Africa, who was the defending champion. I mean, Omanyala Ferdinand has been on a good run of form. Before the Commonwealth, we saw him not having the best sort of form at the World Athletics when he arrived at Oregon some 4 hours before his match. Had to deal with fatigue and all those things. Also had to deal with some injuries over the course of a few years. But he said before the game that he wants to dictate his own style of running. He wants to dictate it from the beginning. He had that mindset that he had already won it before even taking the first step. So he knew from the startup, from the shot of the whistle to every single thing else that was happening, he knew that he was going to win it, and he's just proud of what he's achieved so far. And I mean, the sky's the limit for this young man. He's on blistering form, 8th fastest man in the world, like I said, 10.2 seconds, but seemingly felt like he could easily still go a bit shorter for his time.
I think those 100-meter dashes are just absolutely, to use your word, blistering. And what performances should we be looking out for tonight then?
I mean, there's the women's discus throw final tonight, and Nigeria is in a good position to grab a trophy or finish in a podium finish there. Goodness, Wanchuku is there. There's the tennis, and of course, our very own Aruna Quadri is. He's also the 12th in the world, I believe, and I know he's the 2nd seed for the doubles and top seed for the singles. He's going to be in the round of 32 tonight. So those are really these sort of stages that we've gotten into is pretty much Nigeria's bread and butter. We should expect podium finishes, a couple of medals here and there, and to also top off. So the plan is always to try to do better than the 24 medal finish last time out. We've gone halfway into the tournament, not halfway into the medal post. So I don't know how easy it might be, but if Aruna Quadri can revitalize the team into this one, then we should definitely expect probably a gold, most definitely a podium finish. We'll take it.
Well, let's turn to football. What do you make of the comments from the Napoli president? I mean, he said he won't sign African players who'll play in the Cup of Nations.
Well, I'll have to be cheeky here. I think it's sort of a backhanded comment in the sense that, well, it shows how much African football or African footballers are intricate to these clubs, especially in the Italian Serie A. You would think it won't be the destination for top African players, but Napoli having 5 African players that are very key. Anguissa, like you mentioned, of course, Kalidou Koulibaly. At some point, we had Tiemoue Bakayoko, AC Milan Frakesie, Ismaila Benacer, all these couple of players. So, in some sense, you could say without these players playing, the team struggles. Victor Osimhen, of course, spearheading the attack for Napoli. But the statements really, from a business point, from a human rights point, from any point you want to look at it, is simply not a safe statement to make. It is not a legitimate statement to make. And it absolutely, in very television terms, it makes no sense what he said. Players need to be able to go to play for their respective national sides. It's like when you delve into the workplace, you have have women, they get pregnant, you definitely have to give them maternity leave at some point. And this is just the AFCON. The players go away for 2 weeks. Now, we're complaining there's also the European Nations League that players have been vocal about, that there's no need, it's a glorified friendly, but they still have to go play it. And in the space of a season, you have like 3 transfer windows, you have 3 international breaks, 2 transfer windows, 3 international breaks. Players would definitely be unavailable. And of course, you also have to factor in time for injuries. Players would definitely get injured. So from De Laurentiis, it's not a safe statement he's made. It doesn't make any sense. We're glad Khalidou Koulibaly has come out to speak up against it. Hopefully, maybe we might see the Nigerian FA speak, or AFCON bring out a statement, or some bodies come to talk against that statement, but it is not safe to say, and it puts African players in a very dangerous position abroad.
Okay, Toby, thanks very much indeed. Olatomiwa Toby, the sports journalist, talking to me from our London studio.